You're listening to vNacelle Insights, where we bring you valuable information on accelerating business value, business transitions, employee engagement, visual process mapping, self-awareness, and entrepreneurial excellence. Hello everyone, this is Kevin with vNacelle. Today we will be sharing with you a webinar given by Elizabeth Ledoux to the Denver Dames earlier this year. The Denver Dames are a group of women running 6- and 7-figure businesses with the mission and vision to offer women the opportunity to connect, support, and inspire one another as they grow their businesses and maximize their impact on the world in a fun, inviting environment. Join us now for a 15-minute excerpt of that webinar.
Without further ado, Miss Elizabeth.
Thank you. Okay, well, hi everybody, and I'm excited to be here, so thank you so much for coming to listen. So I usually start my talks with this slide here because I think it's really, many of the people that I speak with are entrepreneurs and they identify this with this. The big things that come out of this are, I believe anything is possible, and I see opportunities when others see impossibility. The other things that come out on this is I feel overwhelming love. I create, I learn, I grow, and I do. And another one is to contribute to something bigger than myself. So as we walk through the time today, we're going to talk about people, and we are going to talk about, let me see if I can get this to move. There we go. All right, building a growth-oriented business through people and positive energy. So we're going to be talking about people, and as entrepreneurs, and especially as women entrepreneurs, typically we're doing this not only for ourselves but for others. And one of our big motivators is actually to contribute to people, not just ourselves but to others. So what's a growth-oriented company anyway? And I just thought we would pull this out. Growth-oriented is an adjective, and it's used to describe companies that intend to get bigger. So with intention and with actually wanting to grow your business, the best way to grow it is by focusing, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today too, how to actually accelerate growth, and you actually accelerate growth by slowing down. It's kind of counterintuitive. So I'm going to make the assumption that everybody on this call is interested in a growth-oriented company that you're intending to get bigger. Is that true?
That's a very keen assumption.
Okay, all right, we have a foundation. So the typical thinking is that it's difficult, it's going to be hard, there are going to be high risks in order to get this done. And that's actually true, but just being in business is a challenge anyway. And actually being small, if you're smaller, you're in a higher risk situation than if you actually take the time and the effort to grow. So growing actually puts you in a lower risk situation instead of keeping you in a high risk spot. But sometimes we, and especially as women, we doubt ourselves, right? And we wonder, how are we going to do all of this? And if I can't even get this done right now, how am I going to add more to my plate? So most owners in this situation, they've never really grown a business with intentional focus before. Most of the people that we work with have, they've either kind of started their companies and been in it for a short period of time, so they're growing organically, or they've been in it for a long period of time, right? And they've just, again, organically grown their businesses as they went along, maybe not even with a plan. So it wasn't as intentional as it could be. We don't find, and most entrepreneurs are not people that get into a business, grow it, sell it, get into another one, grow it, sell it, etc. So most of the time we find people, they come into a business because they like doing whatever it is. It's fulfilling for them to be able to do that, and they let it grow as they go. So we're thinking that most people have never done this before. And as you grow a business, it requires new skills and tools and thoughts and behaviors. And usually you have to have a new path where you're building a team so that you can build the business together with positive energy. So we like to think of this as a big, fun, and rewarding journey, because if you're able to do it, not only do you contribute again to yourself, but you also contribute to your family and you contribute to others around you because they're able to grow and develop with you. So today I have 3 major topics that we're going to work on. One is just thinking of this as a journey and not an event. So growing big takes time, and it takes movement of people to do it. It takes movement of thinking and movement of emotion and movement of behavior. Second piece is if you want to go far, you go with others, and not just go with others, but go with others intentionally. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is the best tool being a roadmap. So every day, and I heard this from Tom Hill, Dr. Tom Hill, and he's one of the authors of Chicken Soup for Entrepreneurs. And he talks about putting the odds in my favor, and it's OIMF. So what we want to do every day with our decisions and our behaviors and our thoughts is to work to put the odds in my favor, because if I'm doing that, I can't control things, but I want to try my best to put the odds in my favor at all times. So I've taken that and used that for about the last 5 years. So I thought I'd share that with you because it's pretty important in my world. As the entrepreneur and leader, you're the artist for the company, and you're also the glue. You're the glue that holds it together. So as an entrepreneur and a leader, you're providing the path and the guidance with the direction. You actually, and if you think about it in your world, you're actually holding all the people together. So you're basically the matriarch. And as the matriarch, what you do is you make everything okay, and you keep the peace and you keep the boundaries between the people. Yeah, we're doing that every day, and we're taking on all of that. We're taking on all of that responsibility, but also all that people energy and everything else that's coming along. So the entrepreneurial flight is a model that we use, and at the end we've got, if you email me, I'll send you the entrepreneurial flight journey so that you can take a look at that. This is a foundational model. It's being used in Denmark, it's being used in South Africa, it's been used in Japan, it's been used all over Canada and the United States and the Cayman Islands. So we know that it is internationally and foundationally sound. And we've mapped on the left the enterprises flight. So you'll see reactive enterprise and foundational enterprise on the left. And we've mapped on the right the entrepreneur's journey. So the bottom part of this, 95% of businesses stay in the nascent stage. The nascent stage means that the value of the company, if you were to go sell it to somebody, the value of the company is under $1 million. And people tell me all the time, they go, well, my business isn't very saleable. That can be true. But even if you've had a phone number for 20 years that people call and people know, there's a little bit of value there. So down in this nascent stage, 95% of businesses stay down there. We say there's no support to go higher because in that stage, what happens is people are surrounded by those people who believe and have a belief and a feeling that that's how business is. Business is just small. That's how it works. In this stage, over on this right side, I do it better myself, is your thinking or your mindset. So I do it better myself. If that's my thinking and my mindset, then I'm self-employed or survival. Now, there's no wrong or right in this entrepreneurial flight model because there are a lot of businesses who like to be in this nascent stage. They choose to be there. And in my story, I started this business 30 years ago, 29 years ago, I intentionally stayed below this blue line. I didn't know that at the time because I didn't have this model built yet, but I intentionally chose to stay below this blue line. And the reason why is because I didn't want to travel, and I wanted to drop my kids off at school every day, and I wanted to pick them up every day, right? And so I wanted, and I chose to keep this business down here, and I was a reactive business for many, many, many years, where if I would have disappeared, the company would have disappeared too. And my whole deal was I did it better myself, because then I didn't have to worry about other people around me, right? I didn't have to lead them and do that. So I just had an assistant, and that worked. If I want and I choose to grow, then this first line is about, it's the line of control. So if I'm growing a business intentionally and I'm growth oriented, then I intentionally work to say I do it better with others. And when I do that, I learn new skills. So I learn to teach, and I learn to mentor, and I learn to, basically, I really learn to impact other people. And we're going to talk about that in a minute, but I learn to get other people to do what I want them to do in my vision. So that's a key piece. So the next piece to this, the next big blue line, is the line of self-purpose, because when I go over that, I go into this sustainable enterprise level, and I have, what I do is I gain time, choice of my time. I have money, so I gain choice of time, I gain choice of money, and in that level, they do it better without me. So what we've found is, as people move over this next blue line, what we found is when they do it better without me, it's kind of bittersweet. So I'll maybe intentionally move over that line, and I'm proud, because if they do it better without me, I've taught somebody to do it and they're doing a great job. But if they do it better without me, the other side of that is I'm no longer needed. And in our presentations that we've done, what we've found is that people who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s and still want to be in business, they choose a lot of times to go into this productivity monetary area, and they'll let their business stay there intentionally. They don't necessarily want to move over that first line or that second line until they get older, okay? So any questions about this so far?
That's fascinating, and it makes so much sense to me, because I feel the same way. I'm not the kind of business owner that, you and I, Elizabeth, we both know, and so do other people on this call. We know Jessica Fiakovich, who has, bought and sold multiple businesses. She's in it to go through these stages, quickly. And I just noticed that, I prefer to stay in that developmental stage, because I don't want to be replaced yet. But I know that ultimately that's where my highest and best is going to be. So it's really fascinating.
Right. Yeah, so you have planned procrastination, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a strategy and a plan. All right, so this is a foundational model, and it's kind of fun. One of the things you'll notice, that when people get into this developmental phase, and they're in this business entrapped, overwhelmed area, you'll hear a lot of business owners say, gosh, I used to make more money when I was smaller. Things used to be easier when I was smaller. I think I might want to downsize, right? Because then I'll shift my life and it'll be a little bit easier. So what we know is some business owners don't understand that there are two ways to make your life easier. One is to downsize. The other one is to push forward intentionally. Because when you get up into this expanded area, by definition, you have a team that runs the business, and you don't have to do everything. So as you move up this entrepreneurial flight, we know that behavior and skills have to change. In the I do it better myself area, we have control, and we're good at doing whatever it is. When you're in that next level, developmental, I do it better with others, so I'm a mentor, I'm a teacher. My interpersonal skills, I'm mastering those, and I'm leading others very well. And when they do it better without me, then I'm guiding and I'm trusting, and I'm literally practicing getting out of the way. And it is so hard when you've gone through these other two steps. It is so hard to get out of the way and trust. It's one of the hardest things to do.
That was the first 15 minutes of the Denver Dames webinar given by Elizabeth Ledoux entitled Building a Growth-Oriented Business Through People and Positive Energy. For more information on the Denver Dames, please visit their website at denverdames.com. Again, that's denverdames.com. For more information on the services offered by vNacelle and to find out how you can hear the rest of this webinar, please visit the vNacelle Insights section of the vNacelle website, www.vnacelle.com, or simply follow the link in the show notes below. Thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful day.